Before America even had a stable economy, it made a risky bet: create a powerful national bank in a country that had just fought a war against centralized control. In 1791, Alexander Hamilton pushed through the first Bank of the United States, not just to manage money, but to shape the nation's future. It could stabilize currency, handle debt, and fund growth. But to critics like Thomas Jefferson, it looked like a dangerous step toward elite financial control. So, why did this bank become one of the most controversial ideas in early America? And how did it change the country forever? The first Bank of the United States was created in 1791 to stabilize the young nation's chaotic financial system after the Revolutionary War. In the aftermath of independence, the United States was financially fragile, burdened with war debts and operating under a loose system where states issued their own currencies and credit was unreliable. Alexander Hamilton, the first Secretary of the Treasury, believed that without a strong central financial institution, the country could not grow or earn the trust of investors at home or abroad. His plan was to establish a national bank that could manage government funds, issue a stable national currency, and help organize the country's credit system. Congress approved the bank with a 20-year charter, and it became a cornerstone of Hamilton's broader financial program, which also included federal assumption of state debts. The creation of the bank signaled a major shift towards centralized financial power, aiming to transform a patchwork economy into a more unified and credible national system. The bank functioned as a hybrid public-private institution that managed government funds while also engaging in commercial banking. It was not fully owned by the government. Instead, it combined public oversight with private investment, with the federal government holding a minority stake while private investors owned the majority of shares. This structure allowed the bank to operate with both national purpose and market discipline. It held federal deposits, processed tax payments, and made loans to businesses and individuals, helping to circulate money more efficiently throughout the economy. Importantly, it also issued banknotes that became widely accepted as a reliable form of currency, something the young nation desperately needed. By regulating the supply of money and credit, the bank helped reduce financial instability and brought a level of consistency to commerce. This blend of public authority and private capital made the bank a powerful institution in shaping early American economic life. Alexander Hamilton and Thomas Jefferson clashed over the bank, revealing deep disagreements about federal power and constitutional interpretation. Hamilton argued that the Constitution's necessary and proper clause gave Congress the authority to create a national bank as a practical tool for governing the economy. Jefferson, serving as Secretary of State, strongly disagreed, insisting that the Constitution did not explicitly grant such power and that the bank represented an overreach of federal authority. He feared it would concentrate too much financial control in the hands of a centralized government and wealthy elites, undermining the agrarian, state-focused vision he supported. This debate was not just about a bank, it was about the future direction of the United States, whether it would lean toward a strong central government with a modern financial system or remain more decentralized and rural. President George Washington ultimately sided with Hamilton, signing the bank into law, but the disagreement laid the foundation for America's first political party system. The bank helped establish national credit and economic stability, but also sparked fears of elite financial control. By organizing government finances and providing a stable currency, the bank made it easier for the United States to borrow money and conduct trade, both domestically and internationally. It reassured foreign investors that the young nation could manage its debts responsibly, which was critical for economic growth. However, not everyone saw the bank as a positive force. Many farmers and small-scale workers viewed it with suspicion, believing it primarily benefited wealthy merchants and financiers, especially those in northern cities. The idea that a powerful financial institution could influence the economy and potentially the government raised concerns about inequality and political corruption. These fears fueled ongoing opposition and helped shape a broader skepticism of centralized banking power that would persist in American politics for decades. The bank's charter expired in 1811 after intense political opposition, setting the stage for future battles over national banking. When the bank's 20-year charter came up for renewal, Congress was deeply divided, reflecting years of political tension over its role and influence. Opponents argued that the bank had exceeded its authority and favored certain economic interests, while supporters believed it remained essential for financial stability. In a narrow vote, Congress chose not to renew the charter, effectively shutting down the institution. The consequences became apparent soon after, especially during the War of 1812, when the absence of a central bank made it harder for the government to finance military efforts and manage the economy. This experience contributed to the eventual creation of the Second Bank of the United States in 1816. The rise and fall of the First Bank showed how central banking in America would always be tied to political conflict, economic necessity, and debates over power.